Hello everybody and a very warm welcome back. I hope you're doing absolutely fantastic. This video is my little Dan Bosch recap video. Over the weekend, I think it's the largest record fair in the world, and it took place, the mega record fair took place in the Netherlands. And it was, what an experience. I enjoyed it tremendously and had a fantastic time. I'm super excited to show you the records. I found the gritter is running wild for the last 2 days, and yeah, I'm like I said, I'm exhausted, but I'm super happy. Before I show you the record, I took some footage which you're going to see now. If you want to have a little more footage, well, I did a couple of live streams from Dan Bosch. You can find them also on this channel. There are 2 parts of the footage I'm totally stunned about. The first one is from one of my favorite dealers, Klinkhammer. He showed the grails he found. So dealers, so huge, so many dealers, so that still the dealers find holy grails, and he was so excited about the 2 records he found. And I asked him if he could do a video about it, and he agreed, which I'm super happy about. So you're going to see that. And they also had a kind of exhibition, a little exhibition about disco music on the fair. So I was also totally into that. And yeah, you're going to see this as well, next to some random footage I took from the fair. Like I said, if you want to see more, check out the live stream. So before we do the vinyl finds and the shrink must go part, let's have a look at some of the footage.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
Wer ist da?
Sound right, boys. Exactly. What a connection. Yeah, it sound right, boy.
I made a timeline.
Yeah.
So in 7.
Hi, I'm Disco Patrick, and I'm a record collector since 78, 79. And I collect everything, but my name is Disco Patrick, so that's a disco exposition. My main collection is 10% disco, but because they ask disco, it's but I collect every kind of records. I started with to make a timeline of the disco, and it was 73 when there were only 12. There were no 12 inches, only album versions and 7 inches. But 7 inches were only 3 or 4 minutes. So Atlantic made special disco 7 inches, which were 5 or 6 minutes. Mostly album versions and 33 RPM. Most of 7 inch were 35, so they made it 33 so that DJs don't have to switch with the 45. Later there were 10-inch promos, and then
These are all originals.
all originals, of course. Then the promo pools came. This all promo stuff, and also there were DJs like Walter Gibbons, and Walter Gibbons was one of the first who made edits and put it on acetate and did it in the disco, so that's where he got famous. Then here is the I Feel Love from Patrick Corley. Patrick was just starting with the synthesizer, and he made the long version from 12 minutes for I Feel Love, but nobody knows Patrick, so he gets 10 copies to friend DJs in New York, and one to the Casablanca guy, because Donna Summer was on Casablanca, and I bought one. I was lucky to buy one of the Casablanca guy, so that's original from '77, and later on it was a famous 12-inch. You can still play it at the disco now. Everybody loves it now. And later it was issued on the DiscoNet. You see the DiscoNet program service. They started in '77 as one of the very first remix services. And on the third issue in '79, they made the first commercial issue of the I Feel Love, and later on it is pressed otherwise. You have also the DMC mixes. It was in '83. So you had the US, the DiscoNet, but in the UK they started '83 with the cassettes, and in July '84 they started with vinyl. So this is the first vinyl, and then the synthesizer came, and Giorgio Moroder he signed the tree for me, and Patrick, this is synthesizer, similar like the I Feel Love records. And here is more disco, and then French disco, Italian, Canadian disco, American disco, library records, French. French had a lot of library disco. You have 2 issues of that. You have 1, 2, 3 of disco and very nice disco records, and also library.
This was actually made in Germany. It was recorded in the United States.
Yeah.
The vocal tracks and the music was done in Germany.
Exactly.
And this is Luther Wendros.
Yeah,
and
Luther.
Ursula Henning, I think.
Yeah.
I love this record.
Yeah. It's a hard to get record. It's very hard to get record.
It's over 100 euro now.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the Luther Vandross record, the See You, it's a great record.
Yeah,
With the plane, it's a classic.
Then they had the announcement at the airport they're leaving.
But this is the last record of Gino Socchio. It's a sort of it's on Canadian only, and it has his latest hit, his last hit. I have an Instruction albums and a few. In '79, the Stones and Demis Roussos, and everybody wants to pick up a little money from the disco. So there was a disco also. Yeah, and the soundtracks.
Of course.
Then here in Japan were also 12 inches. So here is the first 12 inch 10% from the and they had inserts in the 12 inch. You never see it, but in Japan it was quite common. And here is the special Canadian remix from Funky Town, 12 minutes, and they are in Mexico. They were always color 12 inches, so it's also a very rare one, but it's also in more colors. This is my book from 2014, which covers the history. Yeah.
I love Tom. He did some.
And it's more a catalog of the disco labels with pictures, and more than 2,000 pictures in it. So It's a nearly complete catalog of disco labels.
Wow. Thank you so much. Okay. All right. Ja, ist nicht schlimm. So we are here once again back at the Klinghammer, and he wants to show us his grails because the dealers are also here to find their grails. And Michel, tell me, what did you find and why is it your holy grail?
It's impossible to find these records, and I've been searching for both of them. I can show them. First, it's the Ron. It's basically Ron Wilson, and it's the guy from Open Sky Unit. And this is the only known copy I've ever heard about. And I asked the guy maybe a few years ago, if you ever want to sell it, I'm super interested. And I got a message on Wednesday, I will bring it for you. And this was the same. This is Israel Suite from Rupture. It's a spiritual jazz record from France. And these things just don't turn up. You can have all the money in the world, but try to find a copy. And I think for this, it's not on Discogs, it's not online. Basically, it doesn't exist. This is the only known copy I've heard of. And after a few years of waiting, the guy offered it to me, and I'm super pleased with it.
And it's in good condition.
It's in great condition.
Do you talk prices now or don't you?
Well, why not?
Okay.
I made it's a bit strange to give an answer because I paid some. I paid 1,400 euros, but I also gave a few records in exchange.
Okay.
So, but basically you can ask anything you want for these records. And this one, the Israel Suite, it was on Discogs maybe 2 months ago, and a guy was just asking stupid money. He was asking 10,000 euro for it.
And you got it?
It's still on Discogs.
Okay.
I think, or the guy, I cannot imagine he sold it, but you never know. So I think with certain records, and especially with this one, which is ungoogleable, you can ask anything you want.
You need somebody who really wants it.
There must be more copies in the world, but it's very strange that after such a time, because the LP from this group, it's been known for 25 years as a classic. This is basically the same musicians, only the name is different. And the track is a different version. It's more like amateuristic. It's really less up-tempo, and I think it's fantastic. And I'm super surprised that after such a time of being a renowned LP, the 45 is still unknown and nobody has it. It's not online. So yeah, what is the price?
It's so true.
You know, and I think you can have all the money in the world, but some records you just don't find, even if you have 5,000 euro or 10,000 euro. You know, you have to be lucky that somebody offers it to you and you find it.
And then you have
and
to
with
get
this, yeah, it's amazing, and I'm super pleased. These are two of the, I bought 5 records for myself. These are the 2 I got here, the rest is in hotel. And these are the 2 I'm still really excited about.
I can see it. Amazing.
Yeah,
Thanks.
it's amazing.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing
I'm happy
this.
that you put it on the video.
Yes, we will.
And yeah, it's like what you found from me.
Yeah.
It's, this is what we do it for, you know? It's nice to sell some records, but it's also great to take some music home instead of only bring money and sell everything.
You know, the best dealers here at the fair and at every fair are the ones who are also collectors by themselves.
Exactly.
Those are
I'm
the
a
best
small,
dealers.
I'm a small collector. You know, my collection is really limited to compared to what I sell. But I got a shop for 23 years, and I want to bring good records to the people. And if I keep everything myself, my shop is totally shit. So I buy 10 records a year for myself.
Okay, but special ones. Then.
Yes,
Like-
for
like-
me
like
they
this
are
one.
special.
Yeah,
It doesn't need to be really expensive.
I get
You know, I buy also records for 20 euros. But I don't need a lot. Just a few things which I really want. And if they are high priced or really cheap, it doesn't matter. It's in the end, it's about the music. Really simple. And especially when you find things which are ungoogleable or basically they don't exist. It's like a UFO. You know, and this one, it's the second copy I've seen in my life, except the one on Discogs, because I never saw it. I saw it online. But this is the second one I've seen in real life. And when I heard it, I was blown away. I'm still blown away by it.
You got it from the same guy? Or
I got it from the same guy. So it was,
wow.
yes,
Wow.
this was kind of special.
Yeah.
But I asked him, he knew I was looking for it for many years. But in the last fair, we spoke about it, and he says, is there something you're looking for? And I told him 2 titles. And like 3 days ago, he sent me the message like, hey, I will bring both for you. And I was like, I couldn't believe it. So the fair didn't even start
Christmas
yet.
and Easter in one day.
Exactly. So I think I worked really hard this weekend to make good money. But I think this is the cherry on top.
Perfect. There are 2 main factors for me to go to Den Bosch. And this is that I see their records, which I usually never see in any record store. And also the amount of rare stuff is unbelievable. So that's for me great. And also there might be an opportunity to find one of my Grails to a reasonable price. Well, that's like the cherry on top. And also to have the socializing part, to meet people again, to have recommendations from sellers or other buyers. So that's actually for me the 2 main parts to go there. And Den Bosch never disappoints. So if you have the chance, the opportunity to go to Den Bosch, maybe just for a day, you may take that chance and have a look. All right, I'll show you some records, right? So this was a recommendation, the fabulous Waller family. This is a kind of disco boogie record from, I think, 1980. Listened to some tracks on YouTube, immediately fell in love with it, so I had to have it. Then we have here Tim Stevens' Got to Be Free, which was also in a very good condition for 20 euros, so I picked that up. One of my personal highlights is Das Unsichtbare Visier. This was actually a TV show from 1973 done in Eastern Germany. And in 1979, because the music of that series was so popular, Amiga decided to release it as a soundtrack album in 1979. And it got reissued on CDs in the 80s because people loved it so much. And I actually found this record, and no, it's not Mike Myers. Whatever you think, it's not Mike Myers. I found this at Günther's store. Minty Vinyl had it in near mint condition, so I was so happy to have finally found this on vinyl. Paul Kelly, Don't Burn Me. This was on my want list for a long time. Like I said, in Germany, it's not so easy to find soul records, which are not so known. So I was happy to find it up there for 12 euro, a promo copy in great condition. So what else? Personal highlight. Tell Mama, Etta James, original first press, one of my favorite albums. Etta James, you can't go wrong with Etta James. So Tell Mama, oh my God, I'd rather go blind. I'm gonna take what he's got, Security, Don't Lose Your Good Thing. So Etta James, I was very happy to find this in absolutely near mint condition. Those Cadets and Checker label records is always worth checking out, even if you're not so familiar with the artists on these labels. They are usually very high quality releases. So what else do we got? I needed to buy this. In the 70s, Diana Ross made some advertisement for cigarettes, and this was a Doral. And on this album, you find the usual stuff. So what was on it? Reach Out and Touch Somebody's Hand, Ain't No Mountain High Enough, keep an eye close to you, so you'll find these Ashford and Simpson releases on this album. It was only six euros. I never had seen it before. It's not an overly super rare album, and the vinyl is VG to VG plus, but for 6 euros, yeah, and Diana Ross. Can't say no to Diana Ross, right? All right. What else do we got? Beverly Gardner, Let's Walk Together. This is a kind of mixture between gospel and poems. Totally stunning record. And Angel Dust, If I Knew Why. If you have a chance, check that album out. It was 48 euros. I bought a couple of records from the dealer, so what I always would recommend to do is trying to get a better deal on this, and I didn't pay the full price for this. So always trying to discuss prices. What I wouldn't recommend is if you are in the 5 to 10 euro bins and you are like, oh, I bought this 2 records and in total it's 10 euro. Could you make 6? That's not so good, but if you were in the bins and buying like 10, 20 euros, you can do something about the price. But yeah, and also on the higher priced records, you always get great deals on it, at least from the experience I had. What else do we have? What else do we have? You won't believe it, the Sensational Saints. This is a very, very, very rare gospel funk record, and it belonged to Betty Hill. It's volume 2. I got a super great deal on it because, well, the cover is not in the best condition, and also the record is, I would grade this as, let me have another look at it, but I would grade this I would grade it actually as BG plus. After I clean it, it looks way better than before. What a difference. So this is a very rare record. The seller wanted around 250 euros for it. I got it for way cheaper. It was around 100 euros. So we discussed about the pricing. So you see what you're able, for what kind of discount you're able to get there. You know, you need to discuss. And like, oh, look, this is the Discogs price, and on Discogs it's actually being sold for like 250, 300, and you say, yeah, but it's not been sold. It's just stated that it's been, you know, that they're selling. And so you have these kind of discussions, but like I said, huge discounts are possible. What else do we have here? Dorothy Love Coasters and the Gospel Harmonettes. This is still in shrink. The price sticker says 50 euro. Like I said, this was a seller where I bought the bunch, so I didn't buy the whole package. And also, once again, the question, are you going to open it? Yes, and I will do this right away. I still would like to know how much money I'm going to lose when opening up shrinked records. It's very tight. Once again, we play some music. You know, it takes a while. It's done. So when was this one released? It doesn't say when it was released, but welcome to Air of 2023. So we do hope that you are not warped. I'm sorry. I was thinking about the paper burns when you have that sometimes, but yeah, let's just not hope that you're warped. Well, slightly, but since I can use a weight on my turntable, this is not a big deal anymore. So let's put you carefully aside for later cleaning. All right, what else do we got? I found this Coco Taylor Basic Soul US promo on Chess also in great condition. You always have to check. You're overwhelmed when you're there. It's too much, I know. But take the time to check each record and the condition of each record. Is it warped? How are the scratches and all of this? Take the lamp from your phone to have a look at it, because otherwise you're spending some kind of money and you get home and you are very much disappointed. So take the time to check the records. So actually, I've never heard of her before, but it's on chess, and so I had to have it. What else do we got? Let's get into the Grails. I found some Grails. This one was on my want list for such a long time, and this is it's a great soul record. She only did one record, and this is Eleanor Mills. It's still in shrink. Record is in stunning condition, and actually I knew the dealer who had it, and we discussed about the record, and he said in the decades he's doing this, he only came across this one copy, and yeah, it's in great condition. Here is the label. It's yeah, one of my Grails. I'm so happy to have it, and I just can't wait to play all these records. Another Grail. Faye, this is a blessing. This is actually a record which is super rare. I got such a great deal on it, I couldn't refuse to say no. And also, Faye signed it here on top. She signed it to Kelvin. Nice to have met you. Always remember, Faye. If you come across this record, even as a reissue, go and grab it. This is such a fantastic, I can't praise this album enough, such a fantastic gospel disco album. There's one track available on YouTube, just check for Faye, This Is a Blessing, you'll find it, you're gonna love it. So I was very happy to find this. And now comes the mega Grail for me. When I drove with Michael 45 to then Bosch, and when we were on the way, we arrived there at around 12. We started around 9:30, 10 o'clock, and a dealer put on an Instagram a picture of his wall, and there was this record, and I thought, okay, when we are there, it's already gone, and it's super expensive anyway, so we've got there, and I went to other booths, and then I decided, okay, I pay him a visit, and the record was still on the wall. And we discussed a little bit about it, and also I got a tremendously great deal on it. So here it is. 1619 Badass Band. The original, not the reissue on the TSG label. I actually never thought I'm ever gonna own a record from the TSG label. These are super rare. And my holiest Grail is still Giving Up from the Topics, which might end up in a couple of decades in my collection, I don't know. But finding this for such a great price, I thought this was near impossible, and I was stunned that it was still on the wall. And he knew me from years before, and he said, well, honestly, if you want it, you have to make the deal now, because there are some French people who are also interested in it. And I kind of knew the French people who were also interested in this, so I knew this was true. So yeah, I took the chance, and I'm over the moon with it. So yeah. Let's see, do we have something else? No. These were my finds on the record fair. As you can see, it's not a ton of records, but some super Grails, and also some new additions to the collection. And it's for me not the quantity of the records I bought, it's the quality. And I won't be buying any records for the next couple of months. I have to, but it was so worth it. It's so so great. And I'm gonna clean the rest of the records now and listen to it and have a good time with the records. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed that little video, and I do hope that everybody who's watching it, that we might meet up in Den Bosch the next time. I promise you, you won't regret it to be there. Your bank account will, maybe your significant other, I'm sure, but it's absolutely worth the experience. So thank you so much for watching us. See you next time. Have a great week. Stay safe, stay healthy, listen to good music, and until next time, bye.